Hello everyone, welcome to Supercoaching UPSC by Textbook. This is Venkatesh, your faculty for geography. I think we all are seeing the increasing temperatures every day. Yes, we are in summer. Yes, we do find increasing temperatures in summer. That is a thing which we are seeing as part of the life in tropical part of the world, right? But there is also another thing which is true, that we are under the era of increasing heat waves. These heat waves are causing abnormal disasters across the world. For example, if you see the recent Dubai floods and also the increasing heat waves in India, both are attributed to one phenomena. That phenomena is what we call it as the anticyclonic conditions. So I would say that the present heat waves in India, one of the reason, very significant, the main culprit is the anticyclonic conditions. So we need to understand them we need to understand these things in detail, right? So let's try to understand about the heat waves, why the present heat waves are formed, what is the geographical analogy to it, and all these kind of things. Heat waves. I think basically every one of you know that what is the heat wave. Nowadays we know it. The heat wave is a condition of air temperature. We know that the heat wave is a condition of air temperature which becomes fatal to human body when exposed. So anything which is abnormal, in other words, if our human body is conducive for 20 degrees Celsius, say we are from Kashmir, we are from the Himachal Pradesh, the high altitude Himalayan region, then an increase in the temperature of 3-5 degrees Celsius there, then also we can say that it is fatal to the human body, right? It need not be 45 degrees, right? So what we are talking about, it is defined based on the temperature thresholds over a region in terms of actual temperature or its departure from normal. You need to understand the departure from normal is a very key word here. Departure from normal. The region, depending on the altitude, depending on the plains, plateaus, mountains, coastal areas, you might find variations of definition of a heat wave. For example, according to the Indian Meteorological Department, temperatures must increase at least 5 to 6 degrees Celsius above the usual, beyond normal, and reach at least 40 degrees Celsius in the plains and 30 degrees Celsius in the mountain areas, then only you will consider as a heat wave. Say for a regions like the Himalayan terrain, 32, 33 you can consider as a heat wave. You cannot consider the same when you are from the coastal land, especially when you are coming from South India in a plain region, or else the Ganga plains. For that you have to go beyond 40 degrees Celsius. So there are different criterias. See it. You all know that Indian Meteorological Department has many weather stations across our country. These weather stations monitor the temperature, and as they monitor, right, as they monitor, you do find that they will be observing the temperatures of a region. Say 40 degrees Celsius are more for plains, 30 degrees Celsius are more for hilly areas. Based on the departure from normal heat wave, for example, the departure from normal, then it is called as a heat wave, departure from the normal. If it is 4.5 degrees Celsius to 6.4 degrees Celsius, and if it is severe heat wave, if the departure is beyond 6.4. So what is the average temperatures of your region across month of April, month of May, usually across the weather, the climate of your region? What is the departure? That you will calculate. And sometimes based on the actual maximum temperature, sometimes if not the departure, if the maximum temperature is beyond 45 degrees Celsius, it is heat wave, and severe heat wave if it is 47. So what is the idea? You need to understand that there is a difference with respect to plains and hilly areas, and we need to consider as a heat wave not just with respect to the actual temperature but also the departure from normal. This is the observation. This is where UPSC will place you a trick while they create a question out of the heat waves, right? From the definition they will try to create. This is what you need to understand. Then moving further, which are the areas which are very known for heat waves in India? Definitely the plains, the desert, the interior areas. You see, this is the interior region which is away from the ocean. This is a desert. These are the plains. Okay, this is also interior, and these are the plains, and also nearer to an ocean. All these things have an impact. This is the reason why you to find more amount of heat waves in this part of the world. So whether you talk about this, and these are the centers of, you all know it, the heat waves. What are the heat waves which we locally call it as? The hot winds, the Lu. If you have observed recently, the pre-monsoon showers were very, very less. You have observed that recently there were variations of, rainfall in certain parts, increasing heat waves. Have you ever heard about something called as heat dome? Heat dome. Have you heard about this word called heat dome? Anyone? Can you answer what is a heat dome? Heat dome. When you see that heat waves form, when you see a heat waves which form, there is something like a dome. Imagine this is the surface, and across this, a dome shaped structure. What is a dome? Something like a spherical shaped structure, right? That's what you call it as a dome. So imagine if the atmospheric conditions are such that they are blocking the heat here, blockage of heat. If you observe the blockage of heat here, that is what we will call it as the heat dome phenomena. Heat dome phenomena is an outcome of blockage of heat as you observe here, right? Now, when you see this blockage of heat, this heat dome phenomena is what? Dome means what? Something like a spherical shaped structure. Heat dome. So you are observing that when there is warm air here, you are making it sure that the warm air is elongatedly found only in this year. So there is more heat. There is a more heat for prolonged time period, usually for 7-10 days, right? So what is this? You need to understand. There definitely heat dome means there is more heat. What is the difference from a heat wave with respect to heat dome? It understands from the perspective of when there is more amount of elongated time period or a prolonged time period. Prolonged time period, right? Then it will this system, the system as a whole is able to maintain its characteristics. System is able to maintain its heat for a prolonged time period. It is not mixing with the other atmosphere, and thereby there is no dilution. Thereby the dilution is prevented. So because of that, you are under extreme conditions. That is what is a heat dome. And for this heat dome to occur, one of the key things you need to understand, something called as anticyclonic conditions. Now what happens when there is an anticyclonic condition? When there is an anticyclonic condition, we all know what is a cyclonic condition. Imagine a region is receiving more amount of heat, the air will start rising. As the air starts rising, there is a process of, convection, right? There is a convection. Because of this convection of the low pressure area, it is rising. It is leading to a cyclonic conditions. I'm not talking about a tropical cyclone as such. I'm talking about a general condition called as cyclonic conditions. So whenever there is more heat at the ground level, whenever there is more heat, particles expand by heating. As they expand, they become lighter and they rise. That process is what we call it as convection. Because of this convection, you will find that cyclones would be created. That is number one. Number two, the exact opposite of this is called as anticyclone. Is what if there is more air which is descending, right? descending air, it creates high pressure conditions on the ground. Now, imagine at a certain region you have a descending air, it creates high pressure conditions of the ground. What will happen is, because of that, you will find clear sky, no kind of, the outcomes you find is clear sky, no clouds, which would eventually, this is now increases heat. Now, whenever an anticyclonic condition developed, a big, good, strength, massive anticyclone, if it is developed, it will develop within a region a big anticyclone, and it will try to develop this into a heat dome. Such kind of anticyclonic conditions will turn a region into heat dome, because initially these are falling down, it is creating the high pressure conditions, and this massive anticyclonic condition, if it is prolonged for 6, 7, 8 days, that is when you will find the major disasters. The recent heat waves in India are attributed towards more amount of heat wave or the anticyclonic condition is developed in the Arabian Sea, and because of that, whether it is a pre-monsoon rainfall, whether it is a dilution of heat between the summer and the winter, a dilution of heat between the water body and the land, all these are prevented, thereby increasing the temperatures in our region. Usually what happens is, there would be something which comes from the ocean which will dilute the heat. What have you observed recently is, because of this heat dome formed out of an anticyclone in an ocean, you have observed that the linkages between Arabian Sea and Indian landmass has been altered. Because of that, there was no dilution. So even the temperatures of our land in the night, say a region like Mumbai, which is supposed to have around, cooler temperatures, at least in winter, at least in the summer, because of the in the late summer, at least on a, on a evenings of a summer, that is in the evenings after around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, the winds will move from the ocean into the land. We haven't observed. The night temperatures of a summer region of a summer in Mumbai or in the Maharashtra has altered. So because of that, what happened? There was more amount of heat. So that is the reason why we are seeing. Normally, a typical summer day and night in Mumbai, you will find decent amount of heat, say 38, 40 degrees Celsius, meeting around 40 degrees Celsius in the daytime, but it will cool down, say around 35, 30 degrees Celsius in the night time, which will bring the pleasant weather, some kind of a pleasant air. But what are you finding in the Mumbai region or in the coastal region of the Arabian Sea, especially in the recent era, was there is no a cool wind not blowing from the ocean into the land. Because of that, the night temperatures of our land is increasing. Already there is more heat in the daytime. The nights are not cooling so, and cumulatively the body is feeling more amount of heat. Such kind of fatal heat is what is the present challenge which you are finding it, right? That is the thing. So that is how an anticyclonic conditions are the reasons for heat waves in India. And we never know how global warming is coming in different aspects. So broadly, the global warming has its impact of pressure conditions across the world. El Nino is the same thing which is impacting the pressure conditions and causing all the disasters in our part of the world. So El Nino, the recent event of El Nino, which is unusual warming of the surface temperatures at the coast of Peru in Pacific Ocean, is leading to variations of pressure conditions across the world. And because of that, because of this El Nino linkages with India's jet stream, the easterly jet stream and all, they are impacting the pressure conditions, and they have created the present anticyclonic conditions. So what we are trying to tell you is, the global warming the trends of global warming, we know that it is warming, but how they are doing in different regions, there is local variations. So what are they doing is, they are trying to cause the El Nino and its linkages with respect to India's easterly jet stream, tropical easterly jet stream, has led to creation of high pressure conditions. And just now I told you, these high pressure conditions are the reasons for one of the attribution of heat wave. In fact, the recent Dubai rainfall is also attributed towards an anticyclonic condition. So if this is an anticyclone, what happened is, this created a dome-like structure. This dome prevented any kind of weather system to mix it with. So whenever at the same time there was a western disturbance which has formed from the Mediterranean Sea entering into this dome, and this dome prevented this storm to enter, and all the storms have led towards Dubai. Dubai has seen around more amount of what do you say, rain, because of the western disturbance has shifted this anticyclonic dome, prevented its interaction, and the entire storm has moved towards the Dubai, is the reason why you have seen the typical severe rainfall. So one side, the heat dome is creating the extreme heat in India on one side of the Arabian Sea. On the other side of the Arabian Sea, the same heat dome is responsible for, a severe storm rainfall, which unusual rain which Dubai has seen. It is an outcome of the heat dome which is created or developed on the Arabian Sea, right? So it is the peripheries which are seeing the extremities of the climate because of a heat dome. Have you able to follow this point of thing now, right? Are you able to understand this? Have you got this concept of what is this heat dome? All of you? Am I clear on this? Heat dome linkages with this, right? So this is the thing I am trying to tell you. If this is an ocean, this is the Indian land. Okay, let me change the color. Indian peninsula. This is the Arabian Peninsula, or okay, this is the Middle East. Rather, let me use the words, the Middle East. They developed a good heat dome, high pressure anticyclone, and it has been persisted. It persisted for so many days. So what happened? At the same time, there was another western disturbance. Heat dome. This heat dome prevented, or this anticyclone or this high pressure, which is a big structure now, prevented the storm to enter into it. So that led to the Middle East, and Middle East has found the storm, and the local conditions of Middle East, the dust accumulations, the cloud seeding impact of Dubai and all have aggravated the further stormy conditions, which led to the present crisis. That is what the reason is. Okay. Whereas in India, there are more amount of heat because the heat is trapped here. The dilution is now not happening, because of which the cool breeze which will come from the ocean is not being absorbed, is the reason why heat has increased. This is the unusual thing. And all these things, you have to understand the teleconnections with respect to even the global warming and the El Nino events. So it's quite a strange world we are living. The teleconnections are having its own impact, and this is how we are finding the abnormal challenges across the world. Hope you all have loved this session, understood the concept of this. If you have any doubt, you can get into the Telegram channel and ask me the doubts. You can get the PDF file from my Telegram channel, and any further doubt about this topic and all, you can always interact with me. And the basic idea of Telegram channel, I told you, it's all about interaction. Right then, all of you, thank you. Hope you have understood this. We'll move forward again. Thank you. We'll come back with a new topic. Until then, happy learnings. Thank you.